Now, on that note, I do want to introduce Justin, who's going to wow us. Are you going to do a bit of the big box? Who knows what's going to come out? Okay, so Justin helps you, your business, find creative ways to stand out and then convert that attention to sales. From skateboarding with Tony Hawk, performing with the Black Eyed Peas, launching the biggest rap culture events in New Zealand, delivering sales training across New Zealand to providing marketing to billion-dollar businesses, Justin has learned one thing: normal is not enough. we don't want normal. We want personal understanding. We want someone to stand up for what we believe in. We want to know they will deliver. We want to believe in their integrity. What we really want is our own personal superhero. Give him a hand!
Thank you so much, Natasha. Really appreciate that. Very nice words. Yeah, it's great to be here. Look, nothing ventured, nothing gained, so I got on a plane and came over to see you lovely guys. So, first off, Natasha's group's a fantastic group and I've been watching its growth going crazy. So, it's a real blueprint actually for how stuff should be done, and Natasha herself is a bit of a superhero, and that's why, because if you think about all those things that was at the end of that description there, you think, well, Natasha actually fits all of that. She stands for something, she's got integrity, she gets results, and you can believe in it.
I'll pay you later.
That's all right. US dollars. Okay, cool. So, yeah, look, the reason why I want to help you guys become superhero businesses is because there's so many people doing similar things. Saying the same stuff, wearing the same clothes, with the same language. And it's like, it's really difficult to stand out. There's so much noise out there. Do we agree there's a lot of noise out there? Right? Okay, great. So the other thing is that, I don't know about you guys, but me and my mum, we're learnaholics. So we just learn and learn and learn and learn, and then we go and learn some more, and then we'll make a plan and then learn some more. Yeah. So none of those things really end up in results. So it's very important that we apply that information. And information is about doing something. A superhero has to go and do something, has to save the day, there has to be some action. So with that being said, I want to take you through some of the actions and just take you through some of the key steps and components that when you put them in the right order, it's just really nice and easy. And again, Natasha is a really good example of that, and I'll use her as an example later on because it's really nice and present for us. We all are observing Natasha's journey, and probably for a lot of us we'll be going, oh, I'd like 5,000 members on Facebook too. Not to mention all the sales success. Alright, so my first question to you guys is, why are you here?
To learn something.
To learn something? Okay, great. Why do you want to learn something? What would learning something give you?
To go forward.
To go forward. And if you were going forward, what would that look like? What would success mean? What's success for you? Where do you live? How much money do you got? Is he gorgeous? So, I'd like everyone to get up and find somebody that they don't know and tell them why you came here tonight. What were you hoping to achieve by coming here tonight? Okay? 1 minute. Go, 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 go. Okay, swap. You can go now, just swap. No. Sorry, you're in a conversation. Okay, 20 more seconds.
I'm curious.
Now I know this.
Cool. Okay, everybody take the seats.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Nice. Everybody take the seats.
Come on, you guys.
Thank you. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, great. Who wants to share what they found out from somebody else? Justin, I know you want to share.
Yeah, well, I was just talking to young crew. Sorry, I forgot your names, guys. I'm shocking with names. But we're just talking about that come because they want to start their own business, so they obviously want to see how we roll and how we implement doing what we do.
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting to see, and I find it great that young people want to inspire to do something in their lives,
Nice.
not just work in the sausage factory. Of life.
I like that you added that, Justin.
No, it's true. Outside the square, having
That was a
good
bit of
go.
creative license there, wasn't it, LOL?
It is. It is.
I love it. Okay, so now tell me, if you guys had your business, and it was clear in your head why, and it was clear in your head who you serve, what it would look like? Where are you? How big is it?
Next to the beach. Like I'm working next to the beach.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
How many clients have you got?
a
Couple of thousand? How do you serve a couple of thousand customers?
working people.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of people.
I'm thinking down the track along the
Cool,
way.
cool. Well, that's good, that's good. Nice. So you're on the path. That's awesome. And somebody else. Who did you speak to, Justin? All right.
Just me.
Oh, she's not really doing much for the license. It's not really working. Yeah, no, she's a ninja. Okay. Denise, who did you speak to?
I spoke to this lady here whose name Natalie, yes. And we discovered that this is our second time to a UBS networking event, and the reason we come is because we've made a pledge to ourselves to get to at least one networking event a week.
Okay, and why do you go to networking events?
To meet other like-minded people, because I think it's important that I surround myself with people who are ambitious and driven and conspire to their success. That helps lift me up.
So, are you looking for an emotional outcome, or would you like a specific measurable outcome with more customers or more
I would
sales?
also like to get more customers, but I know that I may not get them within this circle, but this gives me the tools and strategies that I need and the confidence I need to get out there and put myself out there in the marketplace more
Awesome.
than I do now.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Who would like more customers? Okay, great. We're in the right room. Yeah, goes down. Okay. Who would like to make more sales? Okay, great. All right, fantastic. I just wanted to make sure, because most of my presentation is about that. If it doesn't turn you on, I'm sorry. All right, cool. So, give them the best you've got. So, when I go to your website, is it the best thing you've got? Who's got a website? Is it the best thing you've got? Is your website amazing? Is it sexy as you? Yeah? Is it rock?
Yeah.
Like, is it just really like, whew, man, that was an amazing experience?
No.
No? Okay. Interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so I noticed that a lot of people have practiced their elevator pitch when they were describing themselves and they had their 30 seconds. Does your website do that too?
It will,
It will?
if I listen to you.
Cool. Nice. Ooh. I'll pay you those. I'll take that money and I'll pay you. Give it to you. All right, very nice. Okay, now the reason why I asked that is because you don't have much time with the new customers you're possibly going to meet, your sales suspects. You really don't have much time. In fact, on a website, you've got about 3 seconds. So if the top third of your website doesn't work, I'm going to leave. It's really simple. So that's why you'll find there's a lot of focus on top third of the website. But also, think of marketing like a hot date. You've got to look really good. So you've got the dating thing over here. You want to look really good. You want to make sure your message is really compelling. And you want to have a lot of empathy with the other person. And hopefully after that, you're going to get their number and you're going to form a long-term relationship and maybe you'll fall in love. And if we fall in love, then again, there's going to be, your lifetime value of that customer is going to be a lot bigger. So that's really, really important. Rather than I've got a special deal, 40% off, buy it now. I don't really know what the value is. I'm just, yeah, you might get me. You might get me once, but will you get me again? Which is the real question. And there's a lot of people in the group that I've noticed, and they do a lot of stuff with nurturing, growing people, helping people overcome obstacles that are short-term or long-term. And more often than not, as we all know with obstacles that are in our life, they come from a myriad of different places and positions. So sometimes it's not a simple, singular conversation. So if that first conversation doesn't work, you can't show your magic. You can't show your superhero powers. Because you just didn't turn up with the right superhero outfit. You know, cake flowing and I'm going to, you know, so it's really, really important. And you will have heard that I've done a lot of stuff with music. So yeah, I've played around the world. I started rap battles in New Zealand. I've battled the best in New York and won, and Black Eyed Peas and stuff like that. And the big thing about music and entertainment is songs, it's positioning and packaging. And you've really got to make every relationship count. In a little place like New Zealand, if you have a bad relationship with someone who's in a position of influence, your career can literally be over in music. And in fact, I had one of those relationships with someone who was very high up, and it really put a strain on my success. So it's very, very important that that happens. So I just want you guys to think about, are you actually your customer's superhero? And what does that look like? And if you want to take notes and think about that right now, and I mean superhero, not like, oh, I sell you this. Whoop-de-doo. What is the dream of that person? What is the greatest pain that you can solve for them right now? Are you unforgettable? So this is another one. So I like some of the elevator pitches that I heard tonight, but I'm also looking at the people that say these things. Are they unforgettable? How generous are they with their energy? Justin over the back here is very generous with his energy. He's giving a lot of affirmations to everybody as they were talking to make them feel comfortable and in rapport. So what obviously happens? There's rapport with Justin. People want to talk to Justin because he's put them at ease. He's showed a lot of empathy and he's given to receive. And you notice that that is Natasha and Stuart's MO. If you look at any of their offers on Facebook, it clearly outlines a huge amount of value. And it deals with all the fears you're going through as you approach the situations that you're in. So it's very, very important to look at it from an emotional threshold rather than just the features that you've got for your product. So, what do you stand for? So, I trust everybody recognises the woman in that picture.
It's Ellen, isn't it?
Yeah, with the tan.
It's not what you used to, is it?
Okay, so what does she stand for? What do you think she stands for?
Love, passion,
Love? Yeah?
kindness,
Very generosity.
Yes,
Very
she's
generous. Yeah?
Spirituality.
Spirituality? Nice.
Empathy.
Empathy?
She stands for the people.
Yeah?
She gets soul sister.
Philanthropical.
Yeah? Yeah, certainly. She's a philanthropist, no doubt. And I think she stands for every woman. Because if you look at her journey, it's not a very pretty one.
Yeah.
And she was prepared to get comfortable with being uncomfortable to succeed. Now, everybody in this room could be sitting at home watching some bad TV. And with a cup of tea with their legs up, but they're here. So you guys have obviously embraced the idea that I need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to get something more out of what I want. So my question to you with that then is, what do you want more than what you currently got? Now, I'm trained in a thing called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and this is a classic counselling question. And because what it does is it allows you to create an outcome. So, for example, what we were doing before, like picture it, what does it look like? Because it's very easy to get caught up in what you're doing and think it's important. No, it's not. What you're doing is not important. You know, so what is it that you want? Because that's the magnet. Like at the moment, we're just talking about what's the map, aren't we? But if we don't have a compass, we don't know which direction to go in. So it's very, very important to establish that and know what you stand for, because then you know exactly where you're going on that map. Because I can just about guarantee that most of the information tonight you've heard in different ways. Right? And yet, you want to listen to some more of it. So, which direction is your compass pointing? So, I want to give you some guidance and support so that we can get that. Where is magnetic north? How am I going to get there and make that happen? You can't sell a secret. Okay? It's really, really difficult.
Rhonda Byrne did.
So it's very, very important that when you have something that I notice, for example, I'm a creative. So my sweet spot is just if I could just create all day long, that'd be awesome. But I need to tell somebody about what I've created, and it's important that people actually value what I create. And therefore, if they value it, I need to understand what their issues or what their values are. And if I don't know that, how can I possibly match it? So a lot of us have ideas that come from our heart and our head. We go, yeah, I've got this idea. It's going to look like this. We're going to help young people. Yeah, rocking young people. Woo! It's like, okay, so what does that look like? What's already out there? What is it that turns young people on? You know, because what I love about you guys is that you're in your demographic. So it's not like you have to think about it. You go, oh man, I've got some friends and they are just not doing well, and I hear their feedback and I get a really clear understanding of where they're at and the pressures they're under in life and that sort of thing. So it's, a lot of your instincts will come into play. But for most businesses, there has to be some validation. You have to do some research. You have to get closer. But once you've done that, you've got to tell everybody. So I know I've asked a lot of people already today, what do you do to promote your business? And a lot of people have said, I do networking and I'm on Facebook. So my question to you is Facebook where your ideal customer target market is? Does anybody know that for sure?
Half and half. I would say 50-50.
Who's your ideal customer?
I'm targeting startups.
Yep.
And because they still don't know exactly, they're still floating around,
Yep.
they're floating on Facebook.
Nice.
So I use that to laser target them in my campaigns.
Yeah, nice.
And then obviously when I go to networking events, I use that as leverage
Very cool.
as well.
It's interesting because I notice a lot of people presume that Facebook will be the answer. If you want to deal with high quality clients, for example, you know, property, do you put your effort on Facebook? Do you put it on LinkedIn? I think it's quite clear. You know, you can definitely see that because from my understanding of the product size and the average sale, that the money spent on LinkedIn, even though it's a bit more expensive to promote yourself on LinkedIn than it is on Facebook, in terms of the average sale, it's definitely worth it. So a lot of us can quite easily get caught up in it. And you know what? Facebook's fun, isn't it? Facebook's really fun. There's people just like me talking the same thing. And I can just go, yeah, you know, and oh my God, and did you see that? And, oh yeah, that's crazy, right? And then you go, but hold on, did you get any closer to your customer? So I just wanted to kind of reveal that trap and also the fact that we need to, and I'm speaking for myself and for a lot of us, it's like rather than talking and creating more, you need to do a little less and promote a whole lot more. And when I learned that lesson, that was quite striking to me. I didn't actually like hearing it, but it's really true. And again, Natasha's a classic example of that. PR queen, interview here, interview there, interview everywhere. She didn't invent another course. She's just telling the whole world about the one thing. And as a result, the results, well, speak for itself. Like, you know, a year to 5,000 people in a group, that's just crazy talk. So, make some noise. So, yeah, it's really, really important. Now, being the type of personality I am, in New Zealand we call it a tall poppy.
Same.
You call it the same in Australia? Cool. So, all my life, you know, I've kind of got, oh, you know, oh, this guy, you know, he's a bit loud, he's a bit, you know, he's got over the top. There's a white guy that raps, weird. Skateboarder, oof, strange. You're an adult, you still skateboard? When are you going to give that up? So, yeah, so, you know, all this stuff all the time. And see, here's the ironic thing. Once I learned about behavioural performance, what I realised was, I learned about a thing called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are in your brain. What it means is that when you walk past 3 shops and one shop's really busy, you're going to walk into the one shop that's really busy even though the other staff have got nothing to do and you get served straight away. Because you seek familiarity and you seek safety. That's the reason why we're all going on Facebook and hanging out, because it's safe and I can share that. So we're not actually we're not exposing ourselves to the possibility it might not work. So it's very important that you do that and that you embrace the concept of fail fast. Yeah? Fail fast. Because the reality is that unless you're building your learning, you're not going anywhere. And again, we've got to get the compass right, and then we've got to be in action and keep doing it. And what I loved about sharing stuff with Natasha over the period of time I've known her was that she never kind of said, oh yeah, I'm so far ahead and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm blah blah blah. There's none of that. It's just straight work ethic, do it, make mistakes, do it, make mistakes, do it, make mistakes until it just seems like a whole lot of success. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. So I'm moving relatively quickly today because what I want to do is get onto some stuff that we can share. So this is a book, an ebook that I made called Getting Free, How to Turn Your Lifelong Skills into Automated Digital Income. And for a lot of people as they get older, they're contemplating, hold on, if I'm on a physical job or I'm going to a location dependent job or something, or I just don't want to be there anymore. And yet I've got all this knowledge, I've got all this talent, what am I going to do? How does this work? Because the current world doesn't support that. Well, this is where internet marketing and creating virtual and digital products is fantastic. Why? Marketplace, 1.9 billion people. Baby boomers, oh, I need the biggest market segment there is. And what have we got? Oh, disposable income. Gee, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? So, you know, it's a fantastic group. And I actually wrote this book inspired by a guy I met who was a carpenter, who was talking to me about all the stuff that he did. And basically, he was freaking out. My body's failing me, it's not working. Now, but this still applies even for younger people now because they understand about lifestyle design. They're like, jobs? Maybe. I'll think about it. You know? And for a long time, I always challenged the norm in my life too. Like I say, I've always been a bit of a rebel. So I had long hair, I had plaits in my hair. Like when I was 21, I was Terence Trent D'Arby with white skin. I was crazy. I was out there, you know. And, you know, I do raps and business events, which, you know, we might get later. And, you know, it was weird and different. But again, what I realised was, at first I was a little, when I went into business, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. These people are going to think I'm like some sort of weirdo. And then I realised you better celebrate the weirdness. Mm-hmm. If you're a bit weird, you're a bit strange, and you're a bit off and a bit kooky, awesome! You're awesome. Do it. Natasha's dancing. I'm loving that. I like that. And teaching some moves later on. We can do it. Okay? It's very, very important. So, again, I want you guys to share with each other. So I want you to talk about the business that you do, and I want you to talk about the measurable success that you have created with your clients. If you haven't got a business and you're still in concept, talk about some example of something that you've done in that way. Or you might have a friend where you just helped them get somewhere or create some sort of transformation, and so that was what inspired you to sort of think about it as a business. But I want you to actually think to yourself now, what actual transformative result have I created? This might be challenging for a few of you, but I want you to go and find somebody new again and talk about some transformative success that you created for somebody. Think about the customer's pain, think about the customer's goal, put it in that context. And you've got 2 minutes, go!
Oh, you want to talk? Yeah. What's your measurable success?
Hi. How are you? Debbie.
I haven't.
Okay, fantastic. Now I know that question is quite challenging. And it's really interesting, and we had some good questions over here. And the reason why I ask you that is because if you're really clear on the transformation you make, there's no reason why you're not making loads of sales. Because that's actually what people, why they buy off you. So if you struggle, who struggled with getting clear on that? Like, what is the actual transformation that I create? Yeah? Okay. Alright, nice. So, this is where positioning, understanding, validation, all that stuff about your client are literally what happens. So, like case studies. For me personally, I don't really trust testimonials. You know, I just don't. Justin was really great. What does that mean? Really great. What, a bit? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's alright. Give me that one. I've travelled a lot. Okay, so it's really important that, you know, we think about this in terms of how we express ourselves and how we put it on our website again, our messaging, all that sort of stuff, like what it is that we do. So it's not the function, it's the transformation. Okay, so get very clear on that. So that's, we had a conversation earlier on about what it is that people do, and people would lead with their title. I actually don't care what you call. I care what you do. You know, like, I get a little confused, for example, with Justin's offering, because it leads with locksmith, and yet his content's not about locksmithing. He's actually just this ball of energy coaching you to be awesome. He's an awesomeness magician, you know.
In the old lunchbox.
There you go. Yeah, well, hey, that's all right. So, you know, it's that sort of thing. And we're, you know, don't get me wrong too, this is an organic thing. It's constantly evolving. In fact, me and Natasha had a conversation before this meeting even started about that. Because Natasha does so much more than a 48-hour author program. The transformation is ginormous. It's incredible. And I look at all the post-weekend stuff and I just go, wow, look at all these people shining. You know? And I go, that's what matters. That shining is really, really, really important. Awesome. So we went through that, so that's fantastic. So I want to get really clear on people's customers' pain. So I'm going to start over here with you, my friend.
Oh, excellent. Really
Okay, so
good.
these guys that can't date. So what's the pain?
They don't know how to meet women. They don't know how to get past their own beliefs to actually date a woman and look after her and progress a relationship.
All of them are like that?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
No.
They're
So
all
some
at
of them.
varying stages.
Yeah, varying
of the
stages.
dating process.
So what would you
I
say
don't
is the
know.
one biggest pain that your customers got?
The one biggest pain would be so many. The one biggest one would probably be that they don't know how to treat women properly. They don't know what women want. That would probably be
Understanding?
yes.
Understanding.
Yeah.
And know that though? Is that their top of mind problem?
I think men generally know that women don't know women. Generally, they're at a very high level. They don't think that that's really reflected.
See, because I don't think it's actually about men and women. Because I've met a lot of dysfunctional women too that don't know what men are doing.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it actually comes about communication. Communication and understanding, and how do you communicate functionally?
Yeah.
How do you get an outcome out of communication? Because that's what we're talking about, right? An outcome.
Yeah.
I get to date too.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So you should.
You know, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, it's interesting. So, I'm qualified in a course called Transforming Communications, an instructor in that. And it talks a lot about win-win conflict resolutions and partnership frames and children communication and stuff like that. And a lot of that comes back down to understanding what your goal is. Making sure both people are on the same page in terms of what the goal is. And I often find a lot of women misinterpret what men's goal is. They think they know, don't they? I know what you want. I know what you want. Oh yeah. I've seen guys like you. Really? Okay. It's really interesting, right? And as genders, we both do that. And men make presumptions about what, you know, women. They like that. Women do. Maybe. So the reason why I ask that is because when we can knuckle it down and like peel the onion, and what Natasha asked another question, we peel the onion a little bit more, we actually realise it's something that's actually a lot smaller than all the stuff about dating. It's just being able to hold a conversation that actually isn't threatening and gets to an outcome that's suitable for both people and they both feel safe. And then there's some space where something can happen. That'd be pretty cool. So, my photographer with stars. So, these people, so we had people that wanted weddings, and who were the other clients? Okay, cool. And what do you think is their biggest pain? Because we talked about goal a little bit before. So what do you think would be the biggest pain for a mum looking for photos of their child? The time? Nice. Now, if there's any marketers in the room, they're going, I've created a unique value proposition. So, I'll give you a little heads up. What you just said is how you can separate yourself from all the other photographers. Just that. Yeah? a photographer when your baby is awake. We make sure mums will see that and go, oh my God, someone cares about me and my timetable and my body. Thank you, Lord. That's great stuff. Really, really good. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but it's finding those little things that are the big pain and then trying, okay, so if it's a pain, if it's a problem, it's an opportunity for you. A massive one. So that's the thing that you want to focus on. The other thing to remember always in sales and with marketing is that pain is 4 times the multiplier of gain. That's why I'm not talking so much about goals. Because, for example, we'd all like to have a bit more money in our pocket, am I right? And the idea of winning lotto would be really cool. Yeah? What happened as a result? Not much. But when we can't pay the bills and we're cornered, we react, don't we? I've got to do something, I've got to do something, I've got to. I'm in pain, I'm cornered, you know, like something's got to happen, something's got to break, I've got to go, I've got to. Right? And that's what happens. And for my youngest brother is 135 kg. He's never had a girlfriend. I think he's had sex once with a prostitute. I know it sounds funny, but it's actually true. He suffered for a long time with depression. He smokes a lot of marijuana to cover the fact that he's got a lot of pain in his life. He'd really love to date somebody, but he's got a few things to get past. So, can you hear all that pain? He's not alone. There are a lot of overweight people that are finding it hard to have a social relationship because they don't fit the image. That's just, you know, so if you ask really good questions, you're going to make a lot of sales. And you'll notice I'm asking you lots of questions because the reality is I'm not going to change your outcome. You're going to do that by revealing what actually matters. Cool. Do you find that exercise interesting?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
All right, no. So, how's everyone doing?
Good.
All right, over this side.
Great.
Over this side.
Great.
All right, cool. All right, everyone stand up. Okay, Natasha, come to the front. Show us your dance moves. Everybody. Everybody. All right, cool. Switch.
Please don't, Justin.
Nice. Okay.
Did you like that?
Nice. All right, grab a seat. Okay, cool. Nice. We had to do some dance moves. That's just for you, Stuart. Alright. He's going to show that one at your kids' 21st.
Oh, good.
Okay, so once we've articulated all this stuff, we need to put it everywhere again. Website, business card, phone message, sales pages, social media, offers, advertising, blogs, videos. There's a lot of places to do that. If you can ask really good questions and really understand your customer intrinsically, the whole sales process will take care of itself. Right? But basically, everyone in this room said you wanted to make more sales. Well, I can tell you the reason why you're not making more sales is because your understanding is problematic. You've got to understand what the real core problem is, beyond the obvious. I want to make more money. Well, yeah, I get that. Why do you want to make more money? For example, a month ago I was shooting a music video in Fiji. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be doing a music video. you know, yeah, bullets, right? So it's really important to get clear on that because you need to set up your own business goals too to understand what actually is victory for you. It's not always about a lot of money. It's actually more about, you know, the freedom to create, to express, to build and grow in a way that you think matches you and your value system. So I'm not coming here going, make more money on the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, it's really not about that. So let's move on. This is my favourite basketball team, Detroit Pistons. This is a guy called Dennis Rodman. So he was a basketball player who was a janitor, and he was about to go to jail, and someone took a risk on him, and he made this team called Detroit. He went on to become the best defensive player in the history of the NBA. And even in his second year after winning the NBA championship, he still didn't think he should start, because he had a lack of proof. I asked you those transformative questions before because proof is going to create a lot of sales for you. If you can get proof of change and proof of what you're doing, therefore testimonials, case studies, measurements, if you find it hard to measure what you're doing, come and talk to me later, I'll show you how to do it. It's very, very, very important. And I want to tell you why. Because when you build your evidence, that'll build your confidence. Once you've done that, then the sales will come. It's very simple. So if you don't have a system right now for creating evidence that what you do is valuable, that's why you're not selling anything. Simple as that. Because all you're doing is talking, you're not building evidence. You've got to do it.
How do you do that when you start and you don't have evidence?
Let's talk about it later because it's very simple. I'll show you a metric trick. Yep. 1 to 10, give them a grade, then you can use it numerically for anything on all your marketing, collateral conversations. I'll show you how to do it. Build your sales vehicle. So I'm going to go through this quite quickly because I think you've got the gist of this. The sales vehicle is what are all the steps that add up to sales? Natasha has a number of different offerings that lead up to more premium offerings. She builds up, she does that very easily and succinctly. If you haven't thought about the process of selling, not selling technically, what is the step? I go to the website, I got the ebook, I got 3 messages, I saw a video, I went to a seminar, went to another course, coaching program. Right? So, and sales process is actually a little bit different with that. What I'm talking about there was more sort of sales funnel. But it's very important. So if we meet, you call me up and say, look, I want to do coaching. And I say, okay, fantastic. So tell me, let me send you a form so you can do an assessment and we'll see where you're at and where you want to be. Okay, great. I send that back, she gets it back. I say, right, based on this, we need to identify these 4 core areas. It'll take this long. Send another email. Here's some stuff to start with before we go. Oh, I'm still not sure. Okay, here's another video that tells about what this is going to do to transform your business. Oh yeah, that's what I want. It's been so long since I've actually done anything. Okay, great. That's the sales process. Okay? Very easy. So, if you don't have a process mapped out, and you're just hoping that when I meet you, we'll like each other, that's not a system. That's not a process. That's hope. Which is cool. And maybe you're all super engaging personalities, but as someone who pretty much relied on his personality and outward nature all his life, I can tell you, it doesn't work that way. And from working with billion-dollar companies, that's certainly not the way. So, build a customer success funnel. Design constructive tension questions. Okay, sales ninja time. Constructive tension. If I know where your tea bags are and know your daughter's first name, it doesn't mean you're going to buy off me. Constructive tension is getting people into a place where they get emotional. So I'm going to ask you questions that are going to get uncomfortable. That's the way it is. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to help you face your fear. What is it that's stopping you right now from succeeding, if you were to know? Everybody actually knows in their own head right now. They go, yeah, I know.
I'm not going to say it, but
I know. And you've all got a different reason.
yeah.
Right? So a good salesperson is going to probe. There's a system that, there's a book called Spin Selling by a guy called Neil Rackham. The company I work with, we did another model. And it starts like this. Oh, great. So, situational questions. The first questions you want to ask the person you're selling to are situational questions. So tell me, how long have you been in business? How's it going for you? How many customers do you currently have? What's your average sale? What are your goals? What's the gap between where you are, and now I'm going to move into tension questions. What's the gap between where you are and where you want to be? Okay, so how long have you been in business? Okay, and so that gap is how much per month? Oh, so I multiply the 2. I'm now doing what's called put in a pain funnel. I'm going to multiply that by the time they've been in business. Because what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the fact you haven't done anything in 3 years, you've just moaned. And it really hurts, because you could have $500,000. But what you've been doing is going, it's tough in business, it's tough. No one loves me. And that doesn't really work. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm not manipulating, I'm getting them to actually bring out that emotional stuff that, when you're sitting at home by yourself, and you're going, what am I doing this for? What's this? Oh, man. Right? I'm actually bringing them up to face that stuff. Then I amplify it, which is what I did then. I multiplied the issues of tension. And then I say, would you like to fix that? And they go, yeah. I go, cool, let's talk. Very quick sales lesson there on how to create emotion. People buy emotionally and defend it logically. If you haven't got them emotional, they're not going to buy off you. Because if they're like, oh, that's nice, isn't it? That's nice that you help women. That's nice. It's really nice. I'm not going to buy off you, but it's nice, isn't it? Nice. If you hear nice, you've done something that, get out of nice. Nice isn't going to work. It's like, oh, that's a nice song you made, Justin. That's like a death knell. You want people to either go, I hate that song, oh, that song is amazing. Good, you're emotional. Excellent. I'm running out of time. I'm taking my Kiwi time here. Your website. Very quick check. Think about it, visualize it. Does it say what it is, what it does, and what to do next? This gentleman is an online marketer, that's his key for everyone. His name's Frank Kern. What it is, what it does, what to do next. If your website doesn't do that, it's worthless.
What do you mean what it is? It's a website.
No.
What's
In terms of your business, you're representing yourself.
your
So what it is, yeah, so team building, getting more productivity. What it does, so what's the good about that? Okay, now I'm interested, what do I have to do next? You want to either buy something or contact me.
You've been writing opt-in.
Yeah. Right. But wait, there's more. So everyone's seen Game of Thrones, and you at the end they show you the next episode and you go, ooh, yeah. Next episode's going to be even better. That's called an upsell, cross-sell. Okay? So, one or the other. So what that means is that if I sell you something and you go, yeah, I'm interested in that. And then I think, but what you could also do is use this as well. If it goes up in price, it's called an upsell, or a cross-sell if it goes across. Okay? But it's building your average sale. There's only 3 ways you can grow your revenue. Increase your customers, increase your average sale, increase your frequency of sale. Those are the 3 components. So, it's very easy to do.
Is that from Brad Shirley?
What's that?
Is that from Brad Shirley?
Oh, that's an age-old adage, that one. It's not his. Yeah. Turning objections into opportunities. We talked about this before. I see a lot of people on Facebook, particularly on the group, going, and I say, what's your greatest challenge? And they say, oh, well, people aren't listening and people don't know. And I go, okay, so if they're not listening, that means that you're talking? Well, that's wrong. Because the best sales course in the world, ask them questions and shut up. Alright, that's the simplest, most effective sales course in the world. Ask them questions and shut up. Because you'll hear the opportunity. But if you're talking, oh, what I do is I do websites. I do this and I do it. You're not listening to me. Listening is the greatest skill you can have in terms of selling. Don't get confused with big personalities means it must be good at sales. No. Well, they're loud. No. If you're listening, you will make a lot of money. The more touches, the more success. Isn't this cute, this picture? Okay. So, if with new customers or people that have come into your sales funnel or into your sphere, you're going, well, they're not interested in buying right now. That's okay. That's normal. People don't buy when you're ready. They buy when they're ready. So you need to have a touch point strategy. Again, using like Facebook, or consistently. Don't do it when you think about it. You've got to have a system in place. Strategically plan that out. Use systems like Hootsuite and Buffer and that sort of things that will actually distribute your message to multiple places at once. And the reason is this. The Sales Executive Council is the leading sales authority in the world. Once you go over 5 touch points, your sales conversion increases by 80%. But most people will stop at about 2.
What do you mean touch?
If I email you once, if I send you a Facebook message, if I send you a video, if I send you an ebook,
Has to be
touch point.
personal to me, or if you put it like on your update your profile and I see it is at a touch.
It can be
It's more about being personal to you.
Yeah.
Because
and it can be if you're conscious or you are touched by the other person.
you wouldn't consider a Facebook update a quality touch point. It is a touch point, but it's not specific.
Yeah.
Because if you enroll in my data capture, for example, you're not interested in what I have for dinner. you're interested in what that data capture was about, right? So you see the difference. But all of this means nothing without the right behaviour. All of it. Pointless. Because again, we just go to another seminar and go, that was great, Justin was awesome. What have you done?
Don't forget about it tomorrow.
You know? And so it's really important that you align your behaviour with your goals. And that'll mean you need to challenge your environment. If your environment at home is not suitable for creating productivity, you need to really enroll the people that are in your environment with that. If you're surrounded by people that have never been in business and have always been employees, and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're going to struggle because they don't understand your world. They're going to go, oh, that sounds hard. Why don't you just come have a drink? Go to the bar.
Why don't you need a real job?
Right? So it's very, very important. So all of the stuff that we've talked about tonight, this is what I help people with. And this last part is something that's really come really into sort of focus for me, is that ultimately the discipline of creating the right behaviour. It's hard at first, but then it becomes natural. It's like tying shoelaces. You had to think about it when you first started doing it. It's as simple as that. But if you put it in a system, you put it in a sequence, it becomes easier and easier. In fact, I dealt with a client who did some market research about a garage in New Zealand called Auto-Tune. And he said when he first started, didn't understand anything to do with Google, didn't like any of this interweb fangled angle stuff. And then someone showed him how to use AdWords properly, showed him how to do the reporting, showed him keyword stuff. Boom. He only has to see it half an hour a week. He spends $5,000 a month, which is quite a big budget. But his average sale is $500. So he says, pays for itself 20, 30 times over. It doesn't, it's easy. So, my question is, are you ready to become a superhero? Alright? So, now, I've come a long way, so I thought that what I'd do, I'll give you a little something special to finish with. Okay, I'll show you my superhero skill. You guys ready for that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, you ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I need you to do is all stand up for a second. No dancing this time.
Yeah.
It's good though, right? Singing and dancing is fun. Okay, so first of all, just really just a nice slow clap like this. Okay, cool. I want to thank you for attending the Cunningham event. This is how I do it, and I'm not 50 cents. I came over here, got paid more than 10 cents. I do my stuff like this, and I'm focused on how big. When I rock a microphone, my style simply simple. Microphone control on your ears, you hear it and tingle. This is simply done with various accents and French, making things happen. First play up on the bench. I free throw, shooting shot, 2 shots and 3. Like Dennis Rodman, the Pistons is just JC. Chilling with Natasha with the funky dance moves. Making things happen with a song you can't lose. For all the people that just arrived are all brand new, I salute you from my 2 baby blues. Let's bring it over here to my girl Justine. The female version of me, but far more me. And that's the way we do it when we're picking up fellas. I get on the song, I drop 2 more acapellas. The ladies in the place with style and grace. And all the brothers out there with a smile on your face. My name is JC, aka Word Perfect. Justin Cunningham online, this is our first purpose. Thank you. So guys, I'd love to talk to you guys about what I've created with all this stuff. It's a little coaching program, and if you want to have a chat, we can have a chat a little bit later on about that. I'd love to share. Okay? Thanks so much for having me. Thanks very much.
The door prize!
Woo! The door prize. Now, this door prize is $1,000 worth of this, so it's basically half of this program. You're going to be the first person. Excited. Alright, and
$1,000 of attraction convert 1 month of coaching.
that's it.
No winners!
That's it. Go to the bottom, go to the bottom. Drum roll. Who's got drum roll? The winner is Samantha Jackson!